We're recording.
Okay, it makes it a lot easier if you do record it for me to edit it. Hello and welcome to How I Vegan podcast. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Wes.
We're here to talk all things vegan.
If you've been vegan for years, if you're a recent convert or you're just V-curious, we'll have something for you.
We'll be reviewing some of our vegan experiences, talking about vegan events and speaking to vegans from all walks of life to find out the answers to the key questions.
What's your vegan story?
What was the hardest thing for you at the time?
What did your friends and family think about it?
Where do you get your protein?
How have things changed for you?
What advice would you give to anyone who's thinking about going vegan?
Who is your vegan inspiration?
What's the best thing about being vegan?
What's your favourite vegan product at the moment? We'll be covering all aspects of veganism, not just plant-based food. So if you're interested in what materials to wear instead of wool or leather,
or what beauty products to use, we'll be speaking to people in the know who can guide us all through.
We're not here to preach and we'll never tell you you're not vegan enough.
We're all going through our own stuff and it's difficult, so this podcast aims to be supportive rather than looking down on people.
We're not perfect vegans, not by a long stretch, so we'll be learning things about ourselves along the way too.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, WordPress and YouTube. Just search for How I Vegan Podcast.
You can send an email or a voice note to us at howiveganpodcast@gmail.com.
Episode 5, here we go. Welcome to How I Vegan Podcast. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Wes.
And today we have a special guest who I've been running with for the past probably 3 and a bit years, I would think. And he's been vegan a long time. One of our recurring themes is having ancient vegans on the podcast. And it gives me great pleasure today to introduce Jim.
Hello.
Hi,
Jim.
Hello there.
Yes, we were saying in the last episode we recorded that we should really have some applause going in the background when we introduce people, like Steve Wright's posse. But I haven't found a clip of applause yet to add in. I'll add it in the edit. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, Jim, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, another day at work and here. So.
Okay, all good. Right. So start us off then. What's your vegan story?
I've been vegan for 6 years, but I haven't eaten meat for 26 years. I think it all started from about the age of 8. I was having fish at school and I had a fish bone stuck in my throat. And I said to my parents, I said that, because they said it was fish. And I said, no, fish isn't fish. And they went, it is. Oh, well, I'm not eating that anymore, I went. And they sort of went, really? And they said, well, you eat fish fingers. And I said, well, I'm not eating them either. And I didn't. And I haven't eaten fish since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I'm now 55. 26 years ago, no, it's actually going back before that. I was about 12 years old and I decided at 12 that I wanted to be a vegetarian, but I kept thinking, as silly as it sounds, that you have to eat meat, and if you don't eat meat, you'll die, basically, because I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And so what I was doing, I was given sort of like a Sunday dinner sometimes with chicken, and I'd take all the chicken off the plate and put it in a carrier bag and then secretly feed it to the dog. But then I thought, well, if I'm doing that, then I might as well eat it. So I went back to eating meat, and it's sort of like a phase for 24 hours. But I got married to my ex-wife, Nikki, and she decided that she was going to become vegetarian. And I was a bit apprehensive and thought, I don't really know whether I want to do it, even though it had been on my mind for years. So she was a vegetarian for about 6 months. And then I decided my eldest daughter had just been born, and she was premature. I had to go to Oxford and back every single day. And I was on the when she went back to Kettering, I was on the A14, and I saw a truck full of animals, and I sort of said to myself there and then, that's it. I'm going to stop eating meat. And I went home to her and I said that I'm not eating meat anymore. And she said, "You idiot." I said, "Well, why?" She said, "I've just bought a whole load of frozen meat and that." I said, Don't worry, I'll eat it." So I'm gone a couple of weeks eating meat, thinking I'm going to become a vegetarian soon. And I was on my last plate, and I went to put the fork in my mouth with the meat on it, and she said, "Stop." I looked at her a bit confused. She said, "That's the last meat in the house." So I said, "Well, I might as well enjoy it then." And I actually put it in my mouth and took a long, slow chew on it, thinking this is the last time I'll ever try meat, and I've not eaten it since.
Wow, what a memory.
Yeah, and then 6 years ago, there was the veganuary, and I was toying with it, and I put some post up on Facebook. No likes or comments as usual, and but I was still eating cheese, and then I thought, I've got to stop. And at first it was, I'll be vegan, but if we go out for a family meal, then I'll have a vegetarian meal. And I thought, I'm not doing it. I did one meal and I was ill. It was some sort of milk in it or something, and I was ill. So yeah, 6 years ago now. That's my story, basically.
That's fantastic. So what was I know you said you did veganuary, but what was the thing that kind of pushed you towards veganism rather than vegetarian?
I think straight away I did the research, thinking, why are vegans vegan? And then I was, and the thing that I was puzzled on was eggs. I thought, well, there's nothing wrong about eggs. They just lay the eggs and we eat them. I mean, they're no good to the chicken. And I asked a friend on this advice, and he was saying about the male chicks and the female chicks, and I did a bit of research, and I thought, blimey, I didn't even know that, and you get all these happy eggs and stuff, and just makes you think, really. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. So I can't imagine being 8 years old and telling my parents that I was never going to eat fish again. That's fantastic, especially without trying to cause you any offense. That was a long time ago to decide that you're not going to eat a staple of the British diet.
Well, I mean, what it is, it put me off, really, because I can't be in the same room as fish. The smell of it, I can't stand it. I mean, I was at work the other day, and because you do an 8-hour shift, when I do the 210 shift, I always bring a sort of microwave, something that we've cooked up, a microwave meal, and put it in there. And the bloke before me had put fish in there, and I thought, oh, you're joking. And so I actually went out of my way to find another microwave to cook it in there. I just can't stand the smell of fish.
What's been the hardest thing for you over all that time, or even recently? What's been the hardest thing that you've had to come up against?
Because I've been vegetarian for so long, it was kind of quite easy to transfer over. But I think going from, I don't know whether it's what you're asking, but going from vegetarian to vegan, it was very hard to give up the cheese at first, because I really did like the cheese, and I never liked the melt. It's really weird because I never liked melted cheese, but I like the solid cheese. But it's the other way around now with the vegan cheese. I prefer if you can get it, the melted vegan cheese rather than the whole vegan cheese. It's totally, yeah. But I did struggle with cheese, yeah. And initially, the first week, from meat eater to vegetarian, it was I really thought I'd struggle on the bacon, but I didn't, and I because the ex-mother-in-law would make the sandwiches, and I went over there and she actually made broth, and I thought, this is a real tester, but it was no problem at all,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
I had that difficulty with cheese. Cheese was like, I used to, cheese on toast was the staple of mine. if I needed a snack, it'd be straight to meat, cheese, and toast. Loved it. And then it wasn't there. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
Now what? And I agree about the bacon thing as well, because people always say, oh yeah, but what about bacon? But as soon as I decided I wasn't going to eat meat anymore,
Yeah,
that's it. It's just something I don't eat.
yeah,
That was it.
absolutely.
I've never ever thought, like, because our kids still eat meat. Sometimes I cook them bacon for, like, if we're having a big breakfast or whatever. Never ever have I thought, I really fancy that. Never.
No.
It's really bizarre, isn't it? Because when you are a meat eater, bacon is like this wonderful, wonderful thing. But as soon as I decided, then that was it. It was gone, just literally off the menu.
Yeah.
I think with bacon though, it was you know, you got the fat on the side, and I never used to like that anymore. I would cut it off, and it just looked gross, you know, even then, you know. But you know, from the old days, bacon sandwich, it was handsome, you know. Who ain't gonna say yeah, you know, when you when you like it, you know, but I wouldn't touch it obviously now, but
no. So when you went vegan, what did your friends and family think about it?
Well, my mum said that because she didn't know at the time, because my sister actually has been vegan longer than I have, and we're talking about 15 years she's been vegan, and she was talking away, and I was in the room, could hear every word, and she said, you know, I'm vegetarian and all that. I mean, that's bad enough, but Sharon, my sister, she's vegan. I mean, you know, I don't know how you can do that and really putting her down, you know. But I think I think you really got to refer to go from the meat eater to the vegetarian, really, because switching to vegan, to them it's no different. But I remember when I turned, shall we say, vegetarian, the first real tester was I went to Birmingham for a family meal and that, and I was offered chips and salad. I mean, we're talking 26 years ago, and that was it, chips and salad. And my mother-in-law sort of said to me on the quiet, she says, can't you just eat meat just for once? You know, you're spoiling it, you know. and I thought, yeah, it doesn't work like that, you know. But
wow.
What are you spoiling?
No, not really. I mean, there was they accepted it, but it was a bit difficult at first few weeks. But once it's out the system, it was all right with it. But
and what about at work as well? How's it gone down at work?
I don't really advertise it. In fact, you know, you get a few people who, I mean, they overemphasize it and sort of say he's vegan and all this, and I think, well, I'm just a normal person, you know. You don't, you know, because of my diet and stuff. But no, I don't really advertise it, so not a lot of people know. And it's not that I'm ashamed, it's just I can't be bothered with the hassle of it all. But you do get a few people say, oh, I die and stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah, look at you dropping down there.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So talking of not getting enough nutrients, where do you get your protein from?
It's not really anything I really go into. It's I have like flax seeds and hemp seeds, hemp and even broccoli, things like that. I just, you know, I don't really go out looking for it. It's because I've been eating it for so long that I just get used to it, and it's in my everyday meals and stuff, you know.
Almost like it's really easy to come across in most foods. Isn't that
it
strange?
is, yeah. It is. Yeah, I was just gonna say I eat plenty of vegetables and stuff, you know, and it's I mean, there's processed food about, and we all eat processed food from the time to time and stuff, and I do try to avoid it, but you know, sometimes it's you're in a hurry, you've come in, you've got a few hours and it's bedtime maybe, and you think, well, slam some ink in the oven, but you know, but we're prepared, we've got stuff in the freezer and stuff, so it ain't too bad.
Yeah, exactly. And he may be 55, Wes, but he can smash a 5k in what's your current average, Jim? 24? 25 minutes?
No, I mean, I've had a little setback recently, but I was doing 24, 25. I think you've beat me actually. The personal best is 23:13. But
all right. So Jim, when you went, since you've been vegan, then six and a bit years, how have things changed for you?
I've noticed, the energy levels have been a lot higher. I've got, more energy. I think what I tend to be is I get up, I'm all fresh and everything, and do what I've got to do for the day, and I'll go to work, etc. And I'm really bags of energy. But the trouble is, about 9 o'clock, I'm just fit to drop. It just goes from one extreme to the other. But I feel better. I feel more healthy, and I don't know whether it's because I run as well, But I seem to be okay. I mean, I used to be with meat, shall we say, I'd be really bloated feeling, and I'm not now,
What advice would you give to anyone who's thinking about making the change to the light side?
Just do a bit of research, and diet change or whatever. B12, definitely B12. I'm always taking B12, and just, if need be, just phase into it slowly, but I wouldn't sort of do it overnight. I don't think. I don't really know. I'm not no sort of doctor, but that's what I sort of say.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think the important thing is you've got to do what feels right for you, haven't you? I don't think you can say one thing fits everyone. And that's why we ask this question, really, because everyone's got a different sort of experience of how they went about it, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a good one.
I went overnight.
Yes, you did.
And it was like it was the best thing I've ever done. You mentioned there about B12 as well, and I think
I went to vegetarian. In fact, I did after one mouthful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
You knew it was coming. Yeah.
I'd been speaking to one of my friends about it, and he asked if we had any supplements because of the lifestyle choice, and I was saying to him about how everybody, meat eater or vegan, is deficient in B12, and the ancient vegan, my wife, shouted through saying, "No, that's nonsense. That's wrong." And then I saw a comment on Facebook. I won't say who it is because it's I haven't got their permission, but it says B12 comes from bacteria in dirt. The only reason it's in animal products is because it is supplemented. Everyone, vegan or not, should be supplementing B12 or eating fortified foods, of which there are many. So I pointed that out to the ancient vegan, and she went, "Fair enough. Every day is a school day."
Yeah. I read a similar post that said animals are given B12 supplements quite often. Animals that are going to be eaten are given B12 supplements. So actually, the fact that we're having to take a supplement for B12 is only the same as what meat eaters are doing, just that theirs is being eaten by the animal that they're eating.
I don't see what the issue is really. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, to me, it's just a small tablet. I take it every day, and you just with a mouthful of water, and it takes 2 seconds. It ain't a problem,
Exactly. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. So, Jim, who's your vegan inspiration?
I haven't really. I think it's everybody. When I started this the journey 26 years ago, there was me. There was obviously others, but it was just me and nobody else. And I couldn't talk to anybody about it and all this. And although I'm not the first one, sometimes I like to look at it as they've all followed me kind of thing, and thank you for following me and what I believe in. And to each and every single person, I haven't, got anybody in particular really.
No, that's a great point, because you're similar to Paul really, because our mutual friend Paul, who was on a previous episode, because he was the only vegan in the village, if you like, and
world.
You were in the same sort of position, weren't you? Because back in those old days, there wasn't the sort of social media aspect of things, so speaking to other people with the same opinions and views and stuff.
Yeah, but as well as this, I mean,
with
the social media thing, you see, I mean, I don't really preach about it, but at first I was putting little bits up, and all I would get would be no likes on it and comments from people with like a sizzling steak going on and trying to wind me up. But I've noticed the last 3 years, certainly the last 2 years, people are actually liking it and sticking up for me. And then it's gone the other way around. You're getting like, if you get 20 replies, 18 of them are positive, and probably you get someone asking a question and someone trying to be an idiot about it, you know. But it is the tide has turned, definitely.
Yeah.
I was well proud yesterday. I shared something on Facebook, and somebody I used to work with shared it. I didn't get a like or a comment, but they shared it, and I was like, I didn't even know they were vegan. I don't think they are vegan, but they've shared it, so I don't care.
Wow.
I was like,
that's really good.
So this is a big one. What's the best thing about being vegan?
Saving animals.
100%. Good
Yeah,
answer.
I mean, initially I found out the cruel practices, and that was the reason for not eating meat. But I think it's got a bit more over the years. There's a few more aspects in it, you know, the planet, etc. You know, and I do my bit, even down to plastic and that. You know, it's just want to do the right thing, really. But yeah, definitely the animals. I just don't want the animals to suffer.
Fantastic.
Or get a fish bone stuck in your throat.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there'll be never one of them. In fact, you know, with the fish, going back to the fish, I can't even draw myself to the vegan fish. I just can't do it.
Right. Okay.
They don't have vegan fish bones in.
Oh, can you imagine? We put these in for you.
Yeah.
With realistic bones.
Yeah. Oh God.
Actually,
no.
do you know what? The where is it? I think it might be Wagamama. Do a chicken thing, like breaded chicken, and it comes on a little bone. It's not bone.
Yes, I've
but
seen
it's like
a
a little
picture of it.
stick bit.
Plastic.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like that long, you know, at least 6 inches long. So it you wouldn't choke on it. Well, I mean, you would choke on it, but you wouldn't put it in your mouth all the way. Okay, then. So not vegan fish, but what is your favorite vegan product at the moment?
Well, I've really got it just recently. I've really got in. I know it's a bit boring, but I've really got into fruit. And I don't know about a product, but the things I'm really going for at the minute is even beetroot and fruit as well. It's blueberries. Absolutely, I used to hate them, but absolutely love them now. You know, I mean, we processed food, whatever. We were trying. Is it the pucker pie, the vegan one? And we actually love that. You know?
Yeah.
The chicken kind of like block. The chicken pieces. That's the word I'm thinking of. It looks and tastes like what I remember chicken, but it probably doesn't. But you know. And that's what we had yesterday, actually, and we really loved it. So
yeah, that's something I quite like, is the chicken, like chicken nugget type, chicken nuggets and chips, staple of any kids dinner, isn't it? Love it.
I mean, my partner, although she's not vegan, Sharon, she we cook every night, and she'll have vegan with me. And whenever we're choosing stuff, it's always vegan stuff that goes into the trolley, and we don't pick any meat stuff up. When she goes out, I mean, probably she would be vegetarian out, but she certainly eats vegan, you know, with me. So it's all good, you know. There's never any meat products go in there at all.
It's nice to have that support at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Definitely. Yeah. She's definitely supported me on all this, you know, definitely.
Excellent.
That's cool. Right, I've got 2 more questions for you, Jim. I don't know how we're doing for time, Wes.
Well, I haven't had a notification yet, so we're all
good. Okay, cool. So the first one, tell us about your vegan runners story. How did you find us? How did you find vegan runners?
When I was a teenager, and it was probably late teens, I there was a bloke round the corner, and he was saying about a half marathon, and we all trained up for it, and we completed the half marathon. I think it was 1 hour 57. I was well happy with that. And I wanted to carry on running, but everybody stopped, and I didn't want to run on my own, so I sort of put the trainers up, and that was the end of it. And then Sharon's dad, who sadly passed away a few years ago, he got dementia, and they was doing a Loughborough 5 mile thing. So I thought, oh, I just sort of said I'll enter it next year, and didn't do nothing about it. And it was 8 weeks to go, and I sort of son kicked me up the backside and that, and said, "Come on, you're going to start this training." And I thought, "Oh, go on then." So I just went out, and I ran like about half a mile up the road and back, and I was sort of probably sprinting it. I mean, I was just absolutely, I was on the floor, collapsed, and I kept at it, and then I did the first park run at Wicksteeds Park in Kettering, and I saw a vegan runner top, and I thought, wow, there's vegan runners, there's a running group. So I went home, immediately joined, and then got my top, but it took a few weeks to come through. So I was sort of like in disguise and all this, and then I've been wearing it ever since. So yeah, it was it's good to be in it, So I've got to renew it, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah. But only £9 for the year.
Yeah, that's correct.
Tremendous value. Tremendous value.
I mean, and I think it was Paul who you mentioned earlier. I think he put a post up, and I thought, oh, Paul Jones, I ain't going to forget that name. It's the lead singer of Manfred Mann, and all this, the same name. And then I went up and I said, "Is any of you lot Greg or something?" And I got it completely wrong. But I remember you, Matt, you said, no, leave him alone. And look at this tattoo, he's one of us.
What's his tattoo? You didn't show me that.
Oh, you got to show us your tattoo then, Jim. Luckily, it's on his arm and not anywhere.
Yeah, I've got one on my backside.
It's got wow or anything. Really.
Oh, that's nice.
I was gonna add to it, or at least get another one, but it's never materialised. And I'll tell you what, I mean, he did the outline of it, and it was okay and all that. Then he started colouring the green, and it really did kill me.
Yeah. Wes will tell you about tattoos because he's covered in them. That beard you can see, that's actually a tattoo. Right. Okay. Thanks for that, Jim. So I've got another one. I found this on Reddit earlier, and I'm gonna read it out, and I want both of your opinions on it.
Oh. So
this is a screenshot of a Facebook post. So for context, it's March the 8th. So we're into week 2 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So someone's posted on Facebook here. Looking for eco-friendly way to give to Ukraine, I would like to ensure that no more than 50% of the donation I give goes towards munitions. Yes, I know that war is necessary, but it should not be the main focus. The other main component of this must be a vegan or vegetarian-centric option for feeding the people. Like most of the world, Ukrainians eat too much meat, and this is a great chance to feed them with organic produce and get them used to being more healthy overall. Defeating Russia is pointless if we do not encourage them to scale back meat consumption at the same time.
Oh.
What do you think of that? Has Jim gone? He's gone to delete his Facebook post. What do you think, Wes?
I think I see what they're trying to say, but there's much bigger fish to fry in that world, in that area.
Didn't catch half of that because it was broken up, but I'm getting to know what you're saying.
You've gone, Jim.
Yeah, no,
there he
was breaking up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you get the gist of that? That they want to give?
Yeah.
They want to basically give money to promote veganism in Ukraine. Almost like as a condition of giving money.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I massively agree with that. I think there's a time and a place, but I think trying to make people be vegan, otherwise they won't get any food, seems a bit.
In a time of
war. I don't think they would be doing it for the right reason, would they?
No. Talk about preaching vegans.
No, I mean, I certainly agree with encouraging people, but I wouldn't, I don't preach or anything. I wouldn't, if somebody said, I'm not going to go vegan, I like beef burgers too much or something, I just accept it on board. But I would certainly look at alternatives and say to them, suggest. But that's as far as I would go, but I'm not sure that's what you was asking, but
No, yeah, that's a fair point. I just thought it was it's quite an interesting thread on Reddit. There's quite a lot of replies on it and comments that sort of cover the broad spectrum.
I don't know. There is a lot of preachy vegans on Facebook and stuff, and you're not vegan because you do this. I mean, we're not perfect, or anyway,
No,
we all
absolutely.
make mistakes, Yeah.
We all just those of us that are on here. We're just doing our bit, aren't we?
We're just trying to save animals the best way we
can. Have the old McDonald's argument and stuff, and even supermarkets. I mean, with supermarkets, you're getting some people. Well, people have got to go into a supermarket, but supermarkets sell chicken and beef and that. There's not a lot we can do about it. It's not. I'm not gonna not calling Tesco because they sell chicken.
No,
and also certainly where we live, Jim, in our area, there's no vegan supermarket, so it's not like we haven't got what's it called, the Greenway, like they've got out in West London or whatever. We haven't got a supermarket where you could realistically go and do your shopping.
Yeah, that's true. I've noticed actually. When I became vegan, it's a point I want to make up. Not many people were vegan, so the junk food. What I mean is come in. You've got McDonald's and KFC and Subway, even everything. They're pushing these junk food. And I didn't become vegan for the junk food. There was an aspect to a degree of I'm going to be healthy, but now it's you can live on junk food, be a vegan junk food diet, and it's certainly not good for you.
No.
And I always check the packaging as well, because you've got I don't know whether you're familiar, but you've got the traffic light symbols on the side of some boxes, and you'll have red. But I always look for the green. Maybe you can get away with amber probably, but green, looking for the greens, because I don't want to eat junk really,
Yeah, that's really good.
No, that's very true. You could be a junk food vegan and you're saving animals, but you're not really doing yourself a lot of good. There's quite often a lot of fat and salt content in processed vegan stuff, isn't there? Or processed any stuff really, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, Jim.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Thank you for inviting
been really
me.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
Apart from, a little bit of sound every so often.
That's all right. It just gives it a bit of authenticity.
Yeah. And our amazing editing department will be on that.
Yeah, we'll get the team on that.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it and found something useful.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, WordPress, and YouTube. Just search for How I Vegan Podcast.
And you can send an email or a voice note to us at howiveganpodcast@gmail.com.